Good evening, everyone. This is a regular meeting of the Zoning Board of Adjustment for Wednesday, February 19th, 2025. Notice has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by posting a copy of the notice on the first floor of the municipal building and sending a copy to the Montclair Times, Star Ledger, and Herald News. This is a public hearing in which any members of the public are welcome to attend. The meeting agenda is available on the Montclair website, as is a link to the township's YouTube channel where the hearing can be viewed live or after the fact. The hearing is also being televised on Channel 34. And we have a change to announce for the Zoning Board of Adjustment schedule of meetings. The March 5th, 2025 meeting has been canceled and appropriate notice has been given. And we have an agenda change to announce for today, application 2887 for 26 Orange Road with the applicant Mercury Montclair LLC has been postponed to March 19th, 2025 without the need for further public notice.
Okay. We have the minutes of the February 5th meeting. I have a couple of changes. One on page 2 for...
Did we call roll?
Oh.
Chair Harrison.
Here.
Vice Chair McCullough.
Here.
Mr. Caulfield is not present. Mr. Church.
Here.
Ms. Harris.
Here.
Mr. Moore is not present. Mr. Simon is not present. And Mr. Vera is not present. Ms. Grant. Here. Mr. Griffith.
Here.
Mr. Cruz is not present. And Mr. Sullivan.
Here.
Okay.
Minutes of the February 5th meeting. On page 2, for both the minutes, you note on page 1 that both Mr. McCullough and Mr. Moore arrived slightly after the start of the meeting, but neither were here for the minutes and the resolution. You have Mr. McCullough as abstaining, and you don't have anything for Mr. Moore, and I think they should be treated the same. I don't know that I care, but then on page 9, line 356 at the end, change group to commission. And on page 10, Bellevue should be spelled as if we're in France, because that's what the town decided it should be spelled. And then on page 12, the conditions of the approval, number 1 on line 465, add at the end, owner of the restaurant to distinguish it from the owner of the building. Doesn't need parking. And then and just for the record, Mr. Cruz has arrived. Number 4, stop it after cover the full stairs and then make a separate condition, which I guess to add at the end so you don't have to renumber everything. And the separate condition will read, the rooftop equipment must comply with noise ordinances and shall be tested after installation. And then condition 6, capitalize township, and at the end put 2 flowering native trees. Anyone else with any changes?
Yeah, on page 1, it should reflect that Art Neese was here. I was not. And I don't know if he's mentioned anywhere else throughout the minutes.
Anyone else with any?
I have page 5, line 173, reads the original glazing will be replaced with tempered glass and damaged brick will be replaced. And I think the intent of what he said was the original glazing will be reinforced with a film, making it similar to laminated glass. I'm taking some liberties, but I think it's all consistent
I'll
with
double check what he said exactly.
what we talked about.
Yeah.
I also wanted to add on page 13 at the very end of point 11, in final drawings including detailed plans, rooftop mechanical equipment, and railings and parapet shall be submitted to the Historic Commission. I wanted to also ask them to look at the soldier coursing over the windows. That you could add that into that in some way, because ultimately it should be the landmark's call on that. Thank you.
Anyone else with any changes to the minutes? Okay, someone want to move the minutes with those changes?
I'll move the minutes, Mr. Chair, with the changes.
Is there a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain?
And we have the resolution for the Carey application on Gordonhurst Avenue. I just have one change. Next to last line on the bottom, it should say side and rear yard setbacks. Anyone else with any changes to the resolution? If not, someone want to move it with that change?
Resolution as amended?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain?
And then the next resolution isn't ready, and I guess if you send the conditions in the minutes to Mr. Neese, that will facilitate his life. Okay, and then for members of the board, we're switching the order of the applications to accommodate the applicant getting home to her child. Okay. The next application of that is Claudia Parsons, the owner of property at 1 William Street. This is an application for variances to construct a rear deck and add an unroofed landing and stairs onto the front porch. The property is located in the R2 two-family zone district and is designated in the township tax maps as Lot 8, Block 1,510. Variances are requested from Montclair Code Section 347-51 to permit a side yard setback of less than 6 feet and a rear yard setback of less than 25 feet for the rear deck, and to permit building coverage of greater than 25%. Are taxes paid, and is the notice in order?
Yes.
Okay, you want to come up and...
While they're getting set up, I'm going to swear in. Zanab, would you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth in the two matters pending before the board tonight?
I do.
Just state your name and your position with the municipality.
Zanab Gosmi, Assistant Planner.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to ask both of you to raise your right hands. Turn on your microphones, then raise your right hands. Do you swear to tell the truth in the matter pending before the board?
Yes.
State your names and addresses, please.
Claudia Parsons, 1 William Street, Montclair, New Jersey.
Yes, Eric Schultz, 35 Alexander Avenue, Montclair.
Okay. Mr. Schultz, are you the architect?
Yes,
Okay, and you're a licensed architect in the state of New Jersey, is that correct?
that's correct.
Your license is in good standing?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, proceed.
Okay, should I? Here? Okay, it's working? All right, and to forward, okay, got it. So just quickly, the property in question, the lot is a very narrow lot. It's about 33 feet wide. If you refer to the planning report on the second page, you can see that the lot and how it has no driveway. It does, however, have a dedicated parking spot as part of an easement on the property, on the neighboring property. The scope of the project is in the rear yard to replace an existing deck with a larger deck, and in the front yard is to infill an existing portico with windows and siding and remove the existing stair and put in a new stair and a landing in a different location so that it faces that driveway, or sorry, parking spot within the easement and the neighboring lot. If you refer to T100, the site plan, you can see the top of the page. That is you can see the scale of the proposed new deck in the back relative to the existing deck. is also, you can see that is the top page, or the top photo on the second page of the planning report. That is the
Figure
small rear
4.
deck being removed.
Figure 4 in the planning report.
Figure 4, that's right. And in the front yard would be represented by figure 5, where you can see the existing portico, that the roof and the foundation of the portico would remain, whereas the railing, the balustrade, and the posts would get removed. So in the, again, back to the rear yard, you can see the, we need a variance, we're requesting a variance because the new deck extends within to the side yard setback by 2 feet, and it extends to the rear yard setback by 4.5 feet. For the front yard, the new stair, which the current stair faces the street, we're proposing to remove that and have it face towards the side yard where the parking space is. That requires a variance because of the front yard setback, because the house is already within the front yard setback. I'm going to scan down to A102. This is an elevation of the rear deck. Conventional wood deck, wood framing with proposed wood horizontal slats to hide the new foundation in wood framing. Let's jump ahead to the front elevations. You can see there the gable end. That is the existing roof of the portico and the siding that's to remain. Below that are new proposed wood windows, new siding to match the existing, new railing and posts, and then new wood horizontal boards to hide the existing foundation and the new deck framing. And then finally, yeah, there's again front and back. And just a note that the current stair in the front actually crosses the property line in the front, so we're taking that violation away, proposing it to face it in a different direction. And that's pretty much it.
Mr. McCulloch, do you have any questions?
Yes, thank you. Just a couple of questions. So the house, as it's presented to us, is basically the original house? Do you know?
I believe there was the kitchen at the back was an extension put on, I think, in the 1980s before my ownership. I only have owned it for less than about 6 months.
Mhm.
But I believe the back was extended at some point, and I'm not sure when the front porch was put on there. I don't know.
Mhm. So as far as you know, the front porch is may or may not be original, as it currently is.
I don't know the answer
You
to
don't know
that.
the answer to that. Okay. Your intent in terms of the front is to turn the porch sideways, and that is to facilitate, I guess, since the parking is in that area to the left of the house.
It's partly for that reason, yes, but also because I wanted to enclose that porch area to make so that when I open the front door, the cold doesn't come in.
I see.
And in order to do that and have a door on the glass, there isn't space to build new stairs out into the street because it already extends. You can't put my understanding is that we would then have to have like a landing for the staircase and then the stairs. And as you see, the stairs are already almost onto the sidewalk.
Yes.
So in order to enclose that porch and get the heat and energy issues, we have to turn the stairs so that we can have the landing to code.
I understand. Okay, thank you. So I guess the intent is then to do new landscaping in front of and what kind of landscaping are you anticipating in front of the?
This is my
She is not
landscaper.
sworn in, so
Okay.
she'd have to be sworn in if she's going to
Well, those 2 bushes would be removed and other planting areas sort of in that area, well, on the right side. Some grass, but, beds with shrubs, some green. We haven't finalized that because we had to get this, the variance approved before we plan it, but it'll be nice shrubs, certain amount of grass, perhaps a small tree, ornamental.
So the shrubbery or whatever you plant will be up against, basically up against the new,
Yes, I
stairwell.
think that would be how it
as
would
opposed to
be.
at the curb.
Oh, yeah, not at the curb, yeah.
And then I noticed just a question, wanted some clarity in terms of in terms of that new front facade, the windows, I think, and there's a
Yeah.
mention of a guardrail. Mr. Schultz, can you tell me is that guardrail internal or is it external? What is that? Let's see if
Yes,
you
it's
look
just
puzzled, so
just an interior decorative detail or a rail against the windows inside the new.
and what is the purpose of that? It's just decorative, or is it preventative, or what is?
Preventative. It's against the fall against glass. It's just the inside, just a safety feature on the interior. You wouldn't see it from the exterior, really. I mean, so,
And so the two middle panels would be a doorway, is that what that is, or where's the door?
On the side, looking at that picture, it would be on the left going down, so the outside would be kind of like a conservatory looking
Okay,
sort.
so it's not on the drawing itself, but it's,
No, because
I
it's
understand.
off to the side.
if you have the floor plan. A104 has the floor plan of the proposed vestibule.
I don't have a
I don't think
104.
we have that one.
Can you enlarge the screen on 104 so that we can see what you're referring to specifically?
It wasn't included in the submission, no.
Okay.
So why don't we mark A104 as an exhibit? I'm sorry, we'll mark A104 as an exhibit, it'll be A1.
I'll note for the record that Mr. Moore is here at 7:48, I think.
So is it, thank you for that. Is it your intent for the new door to mirror the current door that is on the front of the house? Or is it, or will there be a change in the style of that door?
I'm actually planning to reuse the door that's currently on the back of the house. It's
On the back of the house.
exterior door with glass on the top half and panel on the bottom half, so that it would fit with the style of the glass.
I see. The
Because
6 panels of glass over
or
the-
something
yes.
like that one.
Yes.
Yes.
Like in
Okay.
figure
A door
4
like
from the
that.
planning report.
Either possibly a door a bit like that.
Door like that. In any event, it wouldn't be visible to the street. It would only be visible to that side
Right.
parking area. And would be consistent with the architecture of other windows and doors on the house.
Yes.
And, Mr. Schultz, can you speak to the what the materials that will be used for the stairwell, please, on the front of the property?
On the front, should be painted wood posts with a painted wood top rail, and then metal cable rail that's meant to disappear, so there's less bulk from a traditional balustrade.
And the steps, would those also be wood, or I think what you currently have now, or?
Or a
Are
composite
those wooden
wood.
steps, is that what we're seeing? Those are wooden steps, right? So that's what you would,
Wood or composite.
composite, okay. All right. And so the style of the railing will change from what is currently on the front of the house.
Yes.
And why are you changing the style?
Like I said, just to be less, to have a lighter feel, make it, the railings would disappear, and that would be the intent. There's just less bulk.
Okay, all right. Great. Thank you very much.
Mr. Church, do you have any questions?
On those railings you're putting in the front, are they wood? I didn't hear, but are they wood?
The posts would be
Yeah.
wood, and the top rail would be wood, but then the infill, the balustrades,
Yeah.
that would be like metal cable.
Oh,
It's
it's gonna be
stainless
cable.
steel cable, so it, from a distance, it pretty much disappears.
Disappears, yeah.
And then the posts are, they're a little bit thinner than your typical wood posts, like in the back of a traditional rail. So the whole assembly is meant to be have a light footprint and visually lighter than your average traditional
Okay, thank you.
balustrade.
Ms. Harris, do you have any questions?
Yes, it's showing that you've got 917 square feet of new impervious coverage, but the deck is only 162. Are you doing further hardscaping in the back as a result of the new deck?
Well, the net change is 137. That's mostly from the deck in the back.
Okay, but what is the new?
So the existing is 779.
Mhm.
When you add 137, you get 9.
Okay, so
17.
that's all from the deck. So is there any landscaping planned in the back as a result of the new deck?
Not hard landscaping. I will be doing landscaping like planting and soft landscaping, but not concrete, not hard landscaping.
I think the only new hardscaping would be a few stones that are the
With
stepping stones
on a path, I
but-
think, around the side of the house. Yeah.
within the grass, but not a hardscaped area, just some
Okay.
stones. It's not shown yet because their design's not developed to that point yet.
And is the existing hardscape in the back going to be modified at all as a result of the deck?
There is that concrete that goes down the side of the house currently. We're going to take out that concrete and put something like stepping stones there, yes. So that would probably end up in a net reduction of hardscape, actually, because the stepping stones will be a bit less. But that design is not being completed yet. So this was
Thank you.
Ms. Grant, do you have any questions?
it
Right where you're pointing, right? You can see it on the figure 2. Figure 2 in the planning report shows it's striped.
Yeah, that would be the easiest way to see it. The grass, it's that here. So yeah, it ends almost at the end of the house. It's got room for 2 small cars. For basically aesthetic reasons, because I want to put lots of plants and pots and grow vegetables and things.
And you said there's a concrete, and you said that's going to go away with the stepping stones?
Yes.
Okay.
And flower beds there. And shrubs and vegetables.
Okay. I was just asking because the deck in the back is large compared to the total square footage of the home. So I guess I was just asking.
10 by 12 feet. It's pretty much the smallest deck I could build. If you're going to build a deck, it seemed like that's right.
Mr. Cruz, do you have any questions?
I have no questions, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Moore, do you have any? Mr. Griffith, do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you.
I just have one. What will the deck be made of?
Either composite or wood, possibly composite wood.
Will it be solid, or will there be spaces between, just I'm trying to figure out the runoff from it is,
Yeah.
so,
Gaps for drainage, your conventional quarter-inch gap.
okay. Are there any members of the audience who have questions, comments, testimony, anything whatsoever you want to say about the application? Now's your big opportunity. Anything further either of you want to add before we discuss and vote on the application?
Just thank you for your accommodating my time change. I very much appreciate that.
Okay, we'll start discussion with Mr. McCullough.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm supportive of this application. Looks like it represents a very nice addition to the property. Will increase the value and will contribute to the neighborhood, so I'm supportive.
Mr. Church?
Yeah, I support this application. It improves a little bit with the stair switch. And the backyard will be definitely better with a larger deck. And space for plantings, that's a good idea. So I'm in favor of it.
Ms. Harris?
I'm in favor of the application as well. I think the lot is small and it's, oddly oriented, so it's hard to meet all of the setbacks here, so understand why all the variances are required, so I'm in favor.
Ms. Grant?
I'm in favor of the application. I like the enclosed porch. I agree. It adds to the home.
Mr. Cruz?
I'm also in favor of the application. I think what you're doing with the, given the parameters of the lot, is good for improvements.
Okay, Mr. Moore, we can discuss but not vote since you arrived midstream.
Sure.
Well, I'm in favor of the application, although it's not a vote, but I think that it enhances the aesthetic of the house. It's also a light footprint. I think that with it being, are you selecting composite?
Probably.
Okay, so that's, that lasts a lot, it's low maintenance and lasts a lot longer than wood, so it's a nice enhancement, and I'm in favor.
Mr. Griffith?
I'm in favor of the application. I like the front a lot, more graceful to the sidewalk, and you've provided a vestibule which saves some energy, makes a nicer home. The back porch will make the backyard much better. Nobody can see it, so despite the the change in your rear yard setback, I think it's an improvement to the overall property and environment. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm also in favor of the application. I think, one, due to the shape of the lot being a parallelogram versus a rectangle, creates certain hardships, other than, some of the setbacks are an existing situation. The applicant is eliminating an encroachment into the right-of-way with the stairs by the improvement. I think the rear yard setback and the increase in impervious coverage are going to enable her to have a usable deck in the backyard, and versus what's really just a landing now that can't do anything with. So I don't think there'll be a substantial detriment to the public good or a substantial impairment of the zone plan, given the shape of the lot, the size of the lot, and the location of the house on the lot. Someone want to move approval of the application?
Move approval of the application?
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Thank you all very much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Go home to your child. The next application is that of Robert Lombardo and MaryJane DeGennaro for property at 2 Argyle Road. This is an application to construct a second-story addition over the existing attached garage and to construct a one-story vestibule and covered front stoop on the north elevation. The property is located in the R1 one-family zone, as designated on the township tax maps as Lot 88 and Block 4601. The applicant requests a variance from Montclair Code Section 347-45B2 to permit a front yard setback of less than 25 feet and a variance from Montclair Code Section 347-45D to permit a rear yard setback of 25 feet. A variance from Montclair Code Section 347-45C4A is also requested to permit the principal structure to exceed 65% of the lot width. Are taxes paid, and is the notice in order?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you both raise your right hands? Do you swear to tell the truth in the matter pending before the board?
Yes.
Give us your names and addresses, please.
MaryJane DeGennaro, 2 Argyle Road, Montclair, New Jersey.
Val DiGiacinto, I'm the architect. I'm at 48 North Main Street, Newton Township, New Jersey.
And you're a licensed architect in the state of New Jersey?
Yes.
Your license is in good standing?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Proceed to tell us what you're doing and why.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, I'm MaryJane DeGennaro, as you've heard. My husband and I moved to Montclair during the pandemic, so pretty much, oh, sorry. So, August of 2020, and we won our house, and it was just, in our minds, a port in the storm of the pandemic. Later did I find out that we expanded our family. My son was born. 2 years later, now my daughter's born. We're in a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. So we're looking to, as we fell more in love with the town of Montclair, and we've built a community with a bunch of my son and daughter's parent friends, and my son is now attending the MCPK Mini Mounties program. We have realized we have a lot of roots here, and we want to continue to grow them. So we're looking to expand above our garage, build like a bathroom and a bedroom, have a front vestibule. What else? I know there's a few variances that we're going for, but we're super excited about this. There's been a lot of planning, a lot of thought, a lot of calls to Val, a lot of, I think I need this, I want that, kind of a thing. As our kids continue to grow. So we're super excited that we've gotten to this point. We're hoping that you guys really like our plans. I mean, we truly love our street. And we love our location, as we're right near Brookdale Park. I think I'm there about 4 times a day now, between my son and myself. So I could go on and on and on about how great and how much we feel like we struck gold here. However, I will let Val kind of take through what we're looking to do.
Okay. There we go. Okay, hi, good evening. So basically, I just would like to say about this street Argyle is that I feel like pretty much for an R1 zone, all of the lots are undersized. So that creates a hardship, as well as being on sort of this curved corner lot and the existing houses location on that lot. I guess I'll just walk you through the plans first. So what we're looking to do is create a front vestibule. As it stands right now, with the front door it's kind of rather close to the main stair of the house, and there's just not much room to get in and out of the house. Also, as is typical of these older homes, there's a lack of storage, so we want to create a proper, vestibule with a coat closet and a covered entry. To the rear of the house, we are adding, expanding for the kitchen addition, just a larger kitchen and a mudroom. And we are taking advantage, the whole volume on the left side there is a very unusually deep garage, so we are just taking sort of the back half of that as living space. And then on the second floor, we are proposing an addition over that garage structure to function as a primary suite with an additional primary bath, walk-in closet, and a larger primary bedroom. So you can see here, that's the front elevation. That's showing the new covered porch with the vestibule. To the left, you can see the addition over the garage. And below that is the rear elevation. Sorry, that's the right side elevation. You can see the covered front porch and vestibule to the left and the second floor to the right, as well as the kitchen addition. Top there is the rear addition. That's the kitchen addition, and you can see the second floor addition to the right. Let's see. So regarding the variances, based on averages, the existing front yard setback should be 24.04 feet. The existing front yard setback, sort of on the curve there, is 15.8 feet. We are not getting any closer than that. However, the front vestibule to the columns on the covered porch is 16.8 feet. The rear addition, the rear yard setback currently is 24.9 feet instead of the required 25, so we're about an inch over, and because we're building up, that's increasing the bulk of that nonconformity. Additionally, the current width of the house is 67.14%, which is above the maximum of 65%. We're not increasing that, but we are increasing the bulk of it because of the second floor addition. Again, I feel like basically most if not every house on this street is already over that 65% width, just because I feel like, again, the undersized lots. I've actually been involved in a couple of other homes in this block that have received variances, and many of the homes have been improved in a similar scale to this. So that's it as far as the walkthrough.
Mr. McCulloch, do you have any questions?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And this is DeGennaro. We're always happy to welcome new Mounties to our town.
It's such an awesome program. My son was at Pillsbury School, and when we got the lotto spot, I was like, should we change him, should we not? And then after meeting with Amy several times, we're like, let's just do it, and I'm so glad we did.
So, Mr. Jacinto, you mentioned in your presentation that the width of the house, and therefore the variance that we're discussing, the second variance is, you sort of characterize it as really being sort of consistent with the neighborhood.
Correct.
And I don't debate that at all. I guess the question I have is that when this part of the building is elevated to have 2 stories, what is your sense in terms of the dynamic that creates in relationship to the property which is to the left of this? I mean, would it be potentially imposing? I mean, not violating this space, but I mean, just in terms of the fact that it's a larger structure. I mean, how do you think that would?
I think there's plenty of space there. We're not requiring any side yard variances. We meet the requirements of the side yard setback, so I don't think that that's an issue or out of character with anything else that's been done on the street.
I'm also really good friends with the girl who moved next door, and I showed her my plans even after our notice. And so she's super excited about it too. They might be copying us in a year or two.
I noted that in terms of the new structure, you will have windows, 2 windows in the bedroom area on the second floor. We're looking at the primary bedroom. Is that two or 3 windows, I guess, huh?
One on the front and 2 on the side in the.
2 on the side,
in the
okay.
bedroom, and then there's an additional window a little further down.
So, again, I'm just wondering how, again, this sort of aligns with the house which is adjacent to the left. Because they also have windows, at least one window I could see from your presentation that looks onto your property, Mrs. DeGennaro. So, I mean, how would those sort of windows sort of align at all?
Meaning like,
For privacy,
oh, for privacy?
yes.
Do we-
I mean, between either window treatments or etched glass, I don't think that's a major concern. If you look at A201, the lower drawing, that's that side, we tried to compose the windows in a way that was attractive and made sense with the roof lines, and, it's not like it's covered in glass, but we did want to get a certain amount of light in the primary bedroom.
Okay. And then I noted that also that in terms of the rear presentation of the structure, the garage and the second floor, there are no windows facing the backyard, is that correct?
On the second floor, that's correct, yes.
That's, okay.
That's in the bathroom.
And that's because of the design of the bathroom, basically.
Correct.
Would you speak to the design of the front entrance, because that's now going to be renovated or transformed, right?
Yeah, so currently, as it stands today, when you open our front door, you are like 2 feet from our stairs. And as Val was explaining, there's no proper closets or space to put shoes and coats and all of that storage stuff for ourselves and our kids. So Val created this structure where it's like a front vestibule, where on one side it will be an actual coat closet where we can put a bunch of shoes, and on the other side it will be a bench with a window that looks over the driveway. So it gives us a few feet before you like enter into our house, making it feel a little better, a little bigger, I should say, not better. And we don't have shoes and coats and a bunch of junk sitting in our dining room space right now.
We were trying to be sensitive with the size of it to the setback situation, so it's only, the vestibule itself is only 5 feet deep, and we've only added 3 feet deep as far as the landing outside the covered porch area. So I think just to have a usable space, we couldn't really have gone too much smaller than that.
Okay. And do you, I think I also noticed that there was an entrance to the house from is it from the garage? Or is it from the family, what is it? I saw something here.
We're taking the back half of the garage and making it into like a family room.
The family room, so there's no direct passage from the garage into the family room?
Correct.
And there's no way to get from the garage, so that the entrance, the front entrance really is
The only
the only
entrance,
entrance to the
yes.
house.
It's a bit of a pain.
Just the size and layout of the first floor, it just wasn't really conducive to having a direct entrance into the garage.
So it didn't make, you didn't feel as though it made sense to have a door from the garage to the family room? Proposed family room? Just questioning whether.
No, because there's a slight grade change, elevation change there, and then as far as furniture layout and,
It would take away.
yeah.
It's not as large as it would appear.
Correct, yeah, it's actually.
this is a
it's-
small
it's very-
house.
It's only 9.5 feet inside the garage, so it's quite narrow.
I just love the location, but it's a very small house.
All right, thank you very much.
Mr. Church, do you have any questions?
No questions now, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Harris?
Yes. On your north elevation, your proposed north elevation, are you just proposing that you are changing the garage doors? Or are you replacing them with swing doors?
Yeah, we are replacing them with carriage-style garage doors, just to be a little more aesthetically pleasing.
Okay. And then can you talk about the finishes that you're proposing for the addition areas?
Yes, so we're going to be matching the cedar shakes, painted cedar shake siding that's on the rest of the home.
Okay.
It's just the front elevation has brick veneer on it currently.
Okay.
And the posts on the covered porch will be likely painted composite or painted wood.
White, definitely. Thank you.
Ms. Grant?
When I see how the distance, if we move from the garage roof to, like, what is this space here? Like a line.
Yeah, sure. So peak to peak, it's just under 1 foot.
Oh, okay. And that was my only question. Oh, and I had a question about the garage door also. This is not the door that's shown here? The style of the door? I missed that.
We're proposing new doors.
Yeah. But what's shown here is what is proposed?
On A200, correct. If you look on
Yeah, 1800. Mm-hmm.
on EX200, that shows what the existing garage looks like today, or the
The
photos.
proposed door. The proposed garage door.
The proposed garage door is on A200.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
I just want to know if this is actually what the door's going to look like.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Mr. Cruz?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I just had a question about the vestibule. I just wanted to confirm that the setback from the vestibule to the street, you're maintaining that same setback, that's correct?
No, we are not. Well, we're not making the setback of 15'8" any smaller than it is. However, the setback at the post, which is the closest point
Mhm.
to the property, is 16.8 feet. To the actual corner of the vestibule itself, the closest is 19.5 feet.
Okay, so you'll be improving then the front yard setback?
Well, the 15.8 is actually at the, if you look at the site plan on A050,
Mhm.
it's on the curvature in the one-story space to the right side of the house there.
Okay.
On the street side. So this is an addition to the front of the house, this vestibule. It's closer than it is today.
Okay. But it's still obviously less than or more improved than the 15.8 from the one
Correct.
story to the, okay. And then, since there's going to be an increase in impervious area with the vestibule and the reconfigured paver patio, have you set up any gravel for stormwater or for drainage?
I have not. We are, the increase in impervious is 246 square feet, and our impervious coverage is under 39%, which is well below the maximum 55, so there should be no reason to do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Moore?
So I think it's a great concept. My question, similar to my colleagues, regarding the windows and how they may look into the neighbors' existing windows, right, for privacy. Just something to take into consideration in proximity or direct sight for privacy. And the other piece, so right now, the garage does not open into the inside of the house?
Correct.
And it's able to fit 2 cars because of the depth?
Well,
Today, pretty much.
conceptually, yes, but because of the width of the garage, it's tough to park a car in there. I mean, it has to be a pretty small car to get in there.
And that's why you're converting the
Correct.
deeper portion, right?
Yes.
To be a livable space.
Yep.
I almost would urge you to look at somehow making a door that leads into the house. I mean, it's normally a detached garage would make the sense of, right, you have to walk on the outside to go in, but just utilizing that for, I don't know, functionality, for best use, potentially.
No, I totally understand what you're saying. It's just a matter of, because of the size of the first floor and the layout, it's just, it would be, and furniture layout, it would just be difficult to
Furniture
achieve. I
layout,
mean,
right.
it's not uncommon for a house of this size to have this situation, even though it's not the most convenient. And as far as the windows, I mean, it's, again, we're well within our side yard setback requirements. It's nothing that's not common on every street in Montclair, basically, nothing that some curtains can't take care of. That the houses are not on top of each other right there.
I currently, like you saw, I currently have a window that looks could theoretically look into their house as well.
Okay. And you mentioned that you have shared this with the neighbor, and they're fine
yeah.
with it.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, she got the same notice that everybody on that
Okay.
list received, so if she was afraid to talk to me directly about it, she could come or talk with you guys, so.
Okay. And any additional consideration for drainage with building on this lot? Does it have leaders? Leaders will be attached, gutters, leaders?
Yes, again, we're staying below the, that 250 square foot threshold for impervious increase, and we are significantly below the maximum percentage of impervious, so drainage really should not be any issue here.
And how about the runoff? Do the leaders go directly into the ground, or will they run off into the neighbor's yard?
Do you know?
Today, we have the rainforest barrels for drainage.
Like an irrigation system?
We do.
What it's watering your plants?
Yes.
Interesting.
The previous people who owned our house were really eco, and I think that was part of the reason why they picked us. At the time, there were so many bids on our house. So they completed with an irrigation system, they had a composting station, they did all, basically the solar panels across the back and on the side. So our house is eco-friendly. We kept everything that they did because we wanted to continue in that sustainability path.
Is that in your design?
Yeah.
To use the not the catch basin, but the
Rain
that
barrel.
irrigation.
Rainforest.
The
Yeah.
rain barrel.
Okay. All right.
We're hoping to continue it, or we can figure out how we want the drainage to be.
Yeah, just take into consideration with you building on that lot, just making sure that the runoff,
Yep.
as you see, we have extremely cold winters, right? So right now, runoff is ice.
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure for safety that it doesn't go over into the neighbor's yard, or if there's like a little bit of a walkway, for someone to slip. So maybe direct it to go into the ground or into this irrigation system. Of course.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Mr. Griffith?
I noticed at the front vestibule, the existing door is dotted to be removed, which means there's no door. So it's not really a vestibule, it's like a vestibule.
Sorry.
Yeah, we
Is
felt
that
the second door, it's because it's in the way and it gets so close to the main stair, we just decided to
So
remove it.
you don't want to have the advantage of a vestibule, actively keeping the cold air out of your house.
Well, there's no, it's into a center hall, so it's not as if, you'd be sitting right there or anything like that, so, the vestibule will be heated. But no, we just felt because of the space constraints here, the better move was to remove the door.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I want to follow up, well, let me start with the front yard setback, just so I'm understanding. So currently, the one-story portion of the house on the west side, that's what's 15.8 feet away.
Correct.
the existing entrance is on one side 19.5 and the other side 20.4 feet away.
That's not, no, that's to the proposed vestibule itself. And then the shorter numbers there, the 16.8 and the 17.5 are to the posts on the covered porch. So the existing front face of the house is 19 feet on the curve of the corner, and at the opposite side, on the garage side, it's 25.4 feet.
Okay, so for, I'll say, up to about the middle of the existing entrance, it's the 25.4 feet, and then it goes less as you go around.
Correct, yes.
The curve, and you're, okay. And you're keeping it so it's not any closer than the one-story portion of the house to the north-south portion of the...
Yeah, we didn't want to get anywhere near that number. We basically made it as small as we felt was still functional.
Okay, and then I just want to understand about stormwater. You know, currently, the garage is, the roof is sloped towards the neighbors to the east, and you have a gutter leaders going down, and it's set up in a very nice fashion currently.
Yes.
Now, the roof is going to be sloped north-south rather than towards the east. And I'm just wondering how you're going to set it up as to, one, are there gutters, and if so, where are the leaders going?
Yes, we can still slope that front gutter to that corner, so it can still function. You know, we're not increasing the runoff as far as the garage addition. We're just adding a story to it, so we can still, that can all still function the same way as far as the drainage on that side of the house.
Okay. And then the other question, the existing solar panels, where
We're keeping, so the ones on the roof, we just actually spoke with the company because we purchased ownership when we bought the house. We're going to be keeping the ones all across the back. They're doing testing to see if we can keep those solar panels on the new roof. As of now, from the looks of the drawings we sent them, those garage solar panels may just have to be removed, and then they will repurpose them to another house.
Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, sorry.
In no case would they be on the front elevation.
Yeah.
It's the north side
I
anyway, but-
understand it's facing north.
Yeah, we would not, aesthetically, we wouldn't.
And I was just
propose that.
wondering in terms of the
Even though our neighbor
rear,
has
which
it.
is facing the same way as the existing panels, whether they're usable.
If it, yeah, we're leaving that up to the experts, but if it could work on the back portion of that east elevation, then we would want to, if it's possible, if it would work.
Okay, any other questions from members of the board?
Yeah, actually. Looking at A200, just want to clarify the slope of the roof on the garage addition, because on the north elevation, it looks like it's sloping north to south, but the way it's drawn on the west elevation, it looks like it's sloping east to west. Could you confirm which one is right?
If you look at A201, you'll see that the roof changes.
Okay.
You see what's happening? So
Yeah.
we're basically mirroring the main roof of the house for the front half of this addition, and then towards the back, it has its own smaller gable
Got it,
that ties
okay.
into that.
So the difference in height between the front peak and the back peak?
The front, the gable in the back, and the
Yeah,
peak.
on the garage.
It's about 3.5 feet.
Okay.
And the front-facing peak of the second floor on the garage is about a foot lower than the main peak of the house.
Got it, okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other questions from members of the board? Are there any members of the audience who have questions, statements, testimony, comments, anything you want to say about the application? Okay, anything further either of you wish to add before we discuss and vote on the application?
No, thanks.
Okay, we'll start discussion with Mr. Church.
Yeah, I had some question about the use of the solar panels on the garage now, but that's under review for, you're going to leave those. Is that correct? If you can.
If we can, we would leave them. They would only be on the rear side.
Okay. The other question I have, are the garage doors, the new ones, are they barn doors?
No, they're
Or are they
overhead doors that are meant
overheads?
to
Okay.
look like carriage doors.
That wasn't clear to me. Okay, overhead doors. I think that this is a good application. I don't see any detriment to anything in that area. Argyle Road is a nice little street, and it doesn't really crowd up the street. It more or less blends. So I would vote in favor of the application as presented.
Ms. Harris,
I'm in favor of the application.
Ms. Grant,
I'm in favor of the application.
Mr. Cruz.
I am in favor of the application. I think the vestibule is going to be a good addition that other homeowners are going to want to do as well as the second floor addition. I think just when it comes to for the stormwater with all the flooding going on, that I think every resident has a responsibility to manage their water. And I guess in terms of one of the nuances between the previous application is that the lot size was about 2.5 times smaller than yours, and they were only including stairs, whereas with this application, with the vestibule and the patio, there's no way for the water to get down, just in terms of like a subtle nuance between the two. So yes, I'm still in favor of the application, though.
Mr. Moore.
I'm in favor of the application. I think that it'll enhance the aesthetic and use on the lot. And of course, a lot of homes in Montclair, we see how they've built over the garage, so it looks somewhat compatible. So I'm in favor.
Mr. Griffith.
I'm in favor. I think you did a really nice job with the difficult house, and hope you consider vestibules to save some energy and make yourself a little more comfortable.
Thank you.
That's it.
Mr. McCullough.
Yeah, I'm also in favor of this application. I must say that when I first looked at it, I found it very confusing in terms of what you were trying to do, and I was a little suspicious because I think there is a sort of a growing tendency to expand houses so that they're overwhelming lots, but I find that that's not the case with this application, and I think you're making the best effort at making it as functional as possible to meet your needs, and so I support this application. Thank you.
I'm also in favor of the application. I think they're not decreasing the front yard setback. They have a somewhat unusual situation because it's a curve in one road that creates to the two front yards and creates some differences as to how far the existing house is set back from the road, and they're not proposing anything that's any closer than the existing one-story portion of the house, and they're just constructing a entranceway and not a whole addition across the front. The existing garage has a minor deviation from the 25-foot rear yard setback, and they're just keeping that same deviation for the addition. And again, the width of the house exceeds the permitted width. By adding the second story, they're making that greater in the sense of there's more house exceeding it, but it's only a minor deviation from the permitted width of the house. So I don't think this is, I think it's still will be in keeping with the other houses on Argyle. There are at least two that I remember that we gave variances to. One on their side, I think two or three houses down, and one on the cul-de-sac. And I think we approve something, similar additions to those houses. So I don't think this is going to be a substantial detriment to the public good or a substantial impairment of the zone plan. There are two conditions I'd like to do. One is just because the roof is a totally different configuration than the existing roof, that the stormwater is going to be set up differently, and just that the condition would be the stormwater design, so there'll be no increase in runoff to the neighbor to the east from what currently exists, and I'm sure based on what's set up now that you'll accomplish that. The other condition concerns the solar panels, and that if they can't be reused on the property, you take measures to ensure their owner, I assume the solar company still owns them, is either repurposing them or is disposing of them lawfully, so they don't end up in a landfill and create otherwise undesirable results. I'm sure they will not gratuitously do that, but I think that's important that we make sure that you make sure that that is in fact done if they can't reuse them on your house.
And also something to note is that any builder I have spoken to, they will not remove them. It has to be the owner of the solar panels themselves.
Yes,
I don't know if you were aware. So
yes,
the owner of the solar.
But their relationship is with you, and
Yes,
you're
and
just
we will
going to
make
say,
sure-
if you
yeah.
can't use them here, use them somewhere else lawfully or dispose of them lawfully, so, okay. Any other comments from members of the board? If not, someone want to make a motion to approve it with those conditions?
I make a motion to approve this application under the conditions stated by the chair.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Go proceed as soon as it gets warm.
Yes.
As soon as it gets
Thank you.
warm.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy your new addition.
Now we just have to live through it.
So, as was announced at the beginning, we're off in 2 weeks. See you in 4 weeks. And hopefully we will be at a calmer schedule for a while.
This was a good one.
Okay, so, yeah, and this is a little pleasure, but...
Enjoy it while it lasts.
So, a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention? See you in 4 weeks.
It's good to see you, former commissioner.